Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my gorgeous wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
How much? It's been a good week here. It is October 27th, 1999.
It is that.
99.
Almost 2000.
It's almost 2000.
What are you doing?
This is how I talk now.
Okay.
So, what did we watch, Carol?
Stop. What is wrong with you?
It's been so long since you said that. You used to say that all the time.
Well, you've stopped being as weird as you used to be.
No, I think you just got used to it, Carol.
I guess so. My tolerance has increased.
Yeah.
So we watched the Halloween episode.
Yeah, 80s night. It's 80s night. You like the 80s, right?
So weird. So I'm just thinking, like, okay, Janet and Steve.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Janet and Steve.
Janet and Steve.
Janet is visibly pregnant.
Yes.
She's been visibly pregnant for a while now.
Yeah. Do you think the actress is actually pregnant and that's why they're doing this?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
I don't know. I don't know her life.
I mean, she went from not showing to showing pretty quick. I don't think she's really pregnant.
Okay.
But anyways, my brain.
Sorry.
Help.
Janet and Steve. She's visibly pregnant and wants to be a rock star.
Her college roommate is suddenly back in the picture.
Right.
And this doesn't look like a person Janet would ever even like talk to on the street.
No shit.
She has piercings and tattoos and like she's in a band.
She's Nancy Spungen.
Who the hell is that?
Sid and Nancy. The rock stars.
Oh, okay.
Sid Vicious, Nancy Spungen,
Sure.
the Sex Pistols.
Okay. And she apparently used to be in a band with this person, and they're performing, and she's gonna go be on stage.
She's gonna be a bassist.
It's crazy.
I play bass, by the way. So it's the whole thing's fucked up. Steve's first introduction to this person is, "Hey, these are great earrings. They'll look great in my nipple piercings."
Yeah. And they're earrings he gave Janet.
Yeah, he gave her. And like, it's fucked up.
She's re-gifting his earrings as nipple piercings to a stranger.
Right.
That's not okay.
And they're not even good for nipple piercings. I'm sorry.
No. I mean,
They're studs.
okay.
You don't put studs in nipples.
Were they studs?
I don't know.
I thought they were hoops. And I think you don't put hoops in nipples.
Hoops I could see, I guess.
But then you could hook and pull and
Ugh.
rip. So, no.
It's like that scene in Airheads, remember? When the guy had the nipple piercing. The guy had the nipple piercing, it was a hoop. And Chris Farley grabbed it.
Kind of. That's always like a fear of mine.
Yeah. It's a good thing you have the studs.
I don't have my nipples pierced, but I'm saying to have...
No, bars, right? That's what they put in there, right? Bars.
I don't know. I mean, like, I think... I don't know.
You ever had a desire to get your nipples pierced?
No, that sounds stupid. No offense to anybody out there who's done it, but like the pain.
Yeah, your tongue pierced, though.
Yes, and that was terribly painful. And I can
Not
only
for me.
imagine how much more painful it would be through your nipple. So,
Right. What about penis, too? Guys get penis tit. Whatever.
penis tits?
Penis.
That'd be interesting.
I was going to say penis tattoos.
I
and
know.
then I realized we were talking about piercings. So, what do they call that? A Prince Albert or whatever?
I mean, yeah, or there's a Jacob's ladder.
That's like the. Have you ever been with someone with a Jacob's ladder?
I've never been with anyone with a piercing, and I don't think I would. Like, that's just is gross and scary and ew.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
This weird person is in their house putting Janet's nipples in her
What? Putting Janet's nipples in her mouth. That was in your fan fiction that you wrote after we watched the episode.
Putting Janet's earrings in her nipples.
Uh-huh.
And Steve is hearing about how Janet's going to go to a club and perform with this person. And it's Halloween. And he has, he's like getting the house ready. He's going to do like a haunted house and pass out candy. And he wants her to be with him.
He's
and
like,
do those things.
We're going to entertain the kids because we're going to have a kid and we're going to be like June and Ward Cleaver.
Did he say that? Because I remember her saying something to him like about the Leave It to Beaver shit.
No, he didn't say that.
Yeah, and that was mean. That was very mean. Like, I don't think he was being weird or wrong or inappropriate in any way.
I wonder if the actress picks up the script every week and is like, who am I this week? What have you done to my character this week that makes no fucking sense?
Right.
Because she wanted him to be responsible and act like an adult. And he's doing that now. And she's like, you're a fucking old man. Fuck you.
Yeah. Like, she is so all over the place. It is insane. And he even says it to her. He's like, I'm doing what you wanted. And she's just like, well, I don't.
Yeah. Well, I want to rock.
Yeah.
He's like, look at you. And she's all like, I don't get the sense that he's not supportive.
No.
I get the sense that he wants to do this Halloween thing that he got in his head. But she's like, I could really use your support. And you're not going to be at my concert. And blah.
Yeah. It's weird. I know somebody who was a belly dancer who got pregnant and continued to belly dance throughout their pregnancy.
Interesting.
Which, is weird, but whatever. Like, you don't necessarily have to stop, living your life or whatever if you're pregnant.
No, not at all.
I don't think that it's like the worst thing in the world for her to go do this, but it's weird. It's out of the blue. It's out of character for her.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they already had plans.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they go back and forth. It's one of those classic Janet and Steve storylines where they go back and forth having the same conversation over 5 scenes.
Right.
And they just like Carol said at one point, she's like, "This Leave It to Beavers to fuck you," kind of. I'm raging against the machine.
So she goes and does her thing, and he stays home and does a haunted house. Who lets their children go into strangers' houses?
Right.
Like, especially, he's got a very scary mask.
Yeah.
And he does this weird, scary laugh when he opens the door with his scary-ass mask.
Let's be fair. He does his normal laugh.
But I wouldn't let my children, if I had children, go into a house like that.
No.
Fuck that. And he's in there. It would have been better if Janet was there. It's just a dude. You're just sending your kid into a dude's house.
Right.
Not okay.
You think that he might put razor blades in the candy and it's okay to get some candy from him, but letting him go in the house is okay, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't ever see any parents.
No.
But I mean, maybe the Walsh house is known as the safe house where they pass out raisins and shit like that.
Right.
Remember?
Oh, God. Yeah. He made one little girl cry, and then he laughed about it, which is kind of shitty. Like,
I guess. I mean, it's Halloween, But anyway, so she does go and perform. They perform. I don't know if so Zoftic Figure is what they call the band. I don't know if this is a real band that Janet's guesting in or whatever, but I've never heard of them. They play a song that is not theirs.
right.
They play the Go-Go's "We Got the Beat." They must have had to fucking license that song.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a cover, I think you still have to license it.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I think you can yourself sing your interpretation of a song, and that's okay. And you can do a parody where it's the same beat and everything, but you change the words. Like Weird Al, right? Where you don't have to pay a royalty for that. But I think if you're singing the song exactly as it was recorded and it's just your voice and you're doing it in a medium where you are making money, like a TV show, I'm pretty sure you have to pay.
Gotcha. So I want to point out, though, that Steve does actually make it to the concert because...
He does. Dressed like Don Johnson.
Who?
Don Johnson from Miami Vice.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the jacket, with the sleeves, yeah.
Because David stops by the haunted house, and Steve's talking about how much fun he's having, and you know, and David's like, what? Why are you looking confused?
No, go ahead.
And David's like, but I think you're done now because like it's almost 9 o'clock. And Steve's like, I never used to go out before 10. And he's like, yeah, but the kids go to bed. They have bedtimes. And that's like a whole thing for Steve.
Fuck, yeah, I forgot about that.
Where he's like...
That happens.
Yeah. He's like, oh my God, you're right. Kids have bedtimes. And he goes...
What an idiot.
Yeah, and he goes to her thing and he's like, hey, Janet, guess what? Kids have bedtimes.
Right.
We'll be able to have a life still.
He's like, I had a revelation. She goes, you've been having a lot of those recently. Which is all his storylines. And he's like, kids have bedtimes. And she's like,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So he watches her play bass badly. No offense, Janet. To We've Got the Beat by the Go-Go's from the 1983 album Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, sorry.
Bless you.
Allergies.
Yeah. So that happens and that's it. And then like he's supportive, so she loves him again.
I hate them together, and I really hate her character. I really do. And, like, I wonder if it's, like, just like with Kelly, where, like, they're just writing an unlikable character, but they think that she's awesome.
Maybe. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know what they think. I would love to talk to the writers and find out what they think.
Does anyone out there like Janet and think she's a reasonable person? I'm really curious. Like,
I kind of liked her a little bit before at the beginning. This is what they do. They establish a character and then they were like, okay, let's ruin it.
yeah.
For conflict. That's all. Like, because they want to create conflict and they're like, how can we create conflict? Oh, in the most convoluted, asshole-ish way possible.
Right.
It's so dumb. Speaking of asshole-ish conflict,
Yes.
there's also Matt and Kelly's storyline.
This is terrible. This is so stupid. Like, okay, Matt Durning, the lawyer, who has been all over the map with his practice, who's practicing, again, out of a mall.
I guess he's a criminal lawyer now, I guess.
I guess. He is now doing an appeal.
He specializes in rapists.
An appeal for a dude who's on death row. That seems a little high profile for Matt Durning.
That's not the funniest part, though. The funniest part is that he's in his little mall office, and the TV's on, and we get exposition via TV, which is always the best.
Oh, yeah.
And then a news reporter is there saying, appeal trial or whatever to try to get this dude off death row who raped and murdered this woman. This is the first high-profile case for attorney Matt Durning.
So stupid.
Like, the news doesn't do that.
No.
The news doesn't follow the local attorneys and tell you when they're having high-profile cases and all this shit. It's so dumb.
So dumb.
There's... Like, I love how movies are like, oh, lawyers are famous. There's literally like 5 famous lawyers in all of history that are real, not fictional. You know, there's like F. Lee Bailey, Johnny Cochran, and, I don't know, Clarence Darrow.
Who's O.J. Simpson's lawyer?
Johnny Cochran.
Okay.
And F. Lee Bailey.
All right.
And Alan Dershowitz and
Yeah,
the rest of
10
them.
other people.
Robert Kardashian.
So, I mean, those were some famous attorneys. But, yeah, it's weird. And then, for some stupid reason, and this is so stupid, he asked Kelly to support him and be in the courtroom for this bullshit.
And she's fine with it at first.
I mean, have some kind of insight into your person.
Right.
And, like, what you've been through. Like, I feel like it was stupid of him to ask, and it was even stupid of her to agree.
Yeah, she obviously wasn't thinking about anything. Oh, at the beginning, too. Apparently the guy that raped her's name was Joe Patch.
Apparently.
What a weird name.
And I love that we're supposed to know that because she just references the Patches. Like, we're supposed to know that's his parents.
Yeah, Tori Spelling, Donna comes in and says, the Patches are here. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking
Right.
about? I was thinking like from Clothes. Like swatches or something like that. And she comes out in there, and instead of well ordained like fabric on a board, 2 human beings are there. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh my god.
So yeah, she's like, the mom's like, sorry, our son raped you.
No, she's like, we've forgiven you for killing our son.
And we're here for forgiveness too for what we did or whatever.
Which is stupid because they didn't rape her.
No.
They didn't tell him to. They didn't raise him to do that. Like, I don't know what they're apologizing for. They feel guilty for raising him, I guess, because he was a monster.
I guess, yeah. Sorry, we shouldn't have let him watch I Spit on Your Grave so many times. Took the wrong lesson from her, really.
But Kelly refuses to forgive them. It's like, for what? What are you angry at them for, you bitch?
Seriously.
I don't like her.
So then she goes to the courtroom, and there is the worst court. They need to hire a lawyer to be one of their writers or a consultant. This is one of the worst fucking courtroom things I've ever seen. So Matt starts direct examining, because this is his witness, the brother of the guy on death row, and he's just like, hey, so tell us about that night. How do you know that he killed him and stuff like that?
Killed her.
How do you know your brother killed him? That's not a question you ask. You know why? Because it's a fucking leading question. You cannot ask leading questions on direct examination. Yes, no, answers. What time was it? Give me the time. Like direct questions. That's what you have to ask. You can only ask leading questions on cross-examination. Well, ridiculous.
And it's already established that he committed the crime. That's not in question. Mm-hmm. That's not even what they're arguing. They're just arguing whether or not he should be given the death penalty.
Right. Has he changed? All this other stuff.
So they play the recording of his confession. Yeah. Which is disturbing as fuck.
Right. And that's what gets Kelly.
Yeah. Because he's talking about how he was like, I don't know, I was horny or whatever.
Right.
And
I was drunk and horny. I saw her, so I was like, oh, let me fuck her. And then he was like, I asked her if she had any money, and she's like, yeah, in the other room. And he's like, that's when I started stabbing her. It's like, what the? And it's so cold. Like,
awful. And then, he's like, there was so much blood, but I didn't even notice. I just was stroking her hair and laying with her. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, kill this man. Kill him. He's a monster. This shouldn't be a question. I don't know why Matt would take this case. So I kind of agree with Kelly for being upset with him for taking the case.
So you're for the death penalty?
In most cases, no. But I don't know. I had a very visceral reaction to that. Now I feel like I want to see him die.
But see, that's Kelly. That's what Kelly's doing.
Yeah.
That's not justice. That's vengeance. That's not justice.
Yeah.
And you're doing that over a fictional person that doesn't exist, that we don't even see on screen. We just hear talked about. But like that's I think a lot of the problem with the death penalty. But Matt is very much against the death penalty. So I can see why he took this case. One, apparently no one else wants this case for whatever reason. Two, this obviously must be pro bono work, because it's not like this guy living in prison for the past 20 years or whatever can be like, oh yeah, I've got a bunch of money.
Right.
So he's very much against the death penalty. So I can see why he would take this case. That's a moral stand that he takes as a lawyer or whatever. She's all like, well, no, he needs to fucking die or whatever. And like I said, she's trying to argue with him from a point of emotion, and he is talking about the law.
Yeah.
Which is, he's a lawyer. Like, you can't expect him to be like, oh, I don't like this guy, so I'm not going to represent him. That's not the law. Because if a fucking lawyer looked at you and was like, oh, she's a bitch, like, and I'm not going to give her a fair trial or whatever, is that fair? Is that justice? No. So you have to take your emotions out of it, of what you think about the person.
They can choose not to take cases. They don't have to take every case that comes their way.
No, that's true. But he wanted to take this case because it's a capital crime case, or it's a death penalty case, and he's against it. So he wants to try to save this dude.
So then they're waiting for the results, and it's the next day, and Matt is sitting in his office with the brother of this guy waiting to hear. Do people do this? Do they just sit by a phone all day waiting for it to ring when it comes to this shit? That's weird.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they wait in the courtroom. I think it's weird that he's the lawyer of the dude and he's not in the courtroom. I don't know, though. Like, maybe this is how it happens a lot of times.
It's an appeal, so it's different than like a trial by jury or something.
Right. Yeah, I think this is probably fairly accurate, yeah.
And then Kelly stops in and they're like, oh, wait with us. The brother's like, pray with me and like, you know, all this stuff. And he's like, I really appreciate your support. And she doesn't, to her credit, does not say, go fuck yourself. I want your brother to die. But she's obviously very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So the brother feels guilty because the brother turned the guy in.
Right.
He came and it's like, hey, I fucking killed a girl and raped her and I stroked her hair. She's bleeding. And the guy's like, okay. I'm going to call for a pizza. And then when he gets on the phone, he's like, yeah, the pizza has a knife.
My God. Sorry.
So,
yeah.
So, yeah, he feels guilty, though, because his brother's going to die in a state where they put people to death sometimes. But, I don't know. California's not known for... It's not Texas.
So Kelly sympathizes with the brother and realizes that she should be sympathetic to this other guy's family too.
Yeah.
So she contacts them and tells them she forgives them. So, yay, she had some kind of fucking character growth. Good for her.
A little bit. Because later, her and Matt talk, and she's like, I forgave the patches. And he was like, is that something for Kelly's business? And she's like, no, Joe Patch. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he's like, well, good, forgiveness, and so you can forgive me or whatever. And she's like, yeah, but I don't forgive you. And I only have enough forgiveness in my heart for one set of people. And she goes, I think we should not talk to each other until after this case. Because he's gonna appeal to the governor.
He's gonna continue to represent this guy and try to get him off death row.
And I think if your relationship is contingent upon the person doing everything you want all the time, then that's probably not a good relationship.
Probably not. So, and also that can take years, those appeals, so I feel like they broke up. I mean, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, in a couple weeks, hey, it's over, let's get back together.
Oh, I think they are. I don't think they broke. I think that's your wishful thinking.
I hope they don't get back together.
I think next episode they'll be back together.
They're stupid.
Like, they'll be, at the end of the episode, it'll be like the governor will be like, you know what? Fuck everything. Let's let him out.
Here you go.
No, they'll have him not be killed. Or they'll have him be killed and Matt will be sad about it. And then Kelly will like comfort him or whatever.
Yeah, we'll see. So, what other... We have the After Dark story.
Yep. We have the After Dark story and we have David's story.
David's story.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you tell us David's story? Because I don't remember David's story.
So, everyone's always calling him out about what an asshole he is on the radio because he has, I guess the idea is once Gina, like, I don't want to say left him because it's not like they were really together or whatever, but once Gina started fucking Dylan again and it was clear she wasn't going to fuck him, he like turned into a heel or whatever and started doing all this stuff on the radio, being Howard Stern or whatever. Howard Stern with an attitude. So this guy calls up and he's like, yeah, I've been dating this girl. She's perfect. But we've been dating for like 2 months and she won't fuck me. And he's like, get rid of her. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, what's her phone number? And the guy gives out her phone number on air.
Which, like, lawsuits, not smart. Idiot.
So he calls up the girl and he's like, yeah, this is David Silver. And she's like, oh, I love your show. And he goes, your boyfriend wants to fucking dump you. And he hangs up on her.
Yeah. No, he's like, he asked for my help. He asked me to dump you.
Yeah. Which he did not, by the way.
No. He just asked for his advice.
So then everyone's calling him out and being like, hey, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you're inflicting your hurt on everyone else.
You're a giant douche, David.
So he's like, fuck you guys, whatever. And then the guy comes and he's all drunk and he's like, I didn't want to break up with her, and he's all pissed off, and Dylan ends up getting him a cab to take him home. So I almost said Brian Austin Green. So David shows up to the girl's house.
Now let's stop there for a second. How the fuck does he know where she lives?
He's got her phone number.
Did he cross-reference it with everyone in the phone book? I mean, like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
Crazy. Anyway.
But she's giving out candy because it's Halloween night now, dressed all in black. So she can get hit by a car.
Oh, no, because she was supposed to do a couple's costume with this guy, and they were going to be a bruise. So she was all in black. He was going to be all in blue.
It's really stupid.
Yeah.
But
That's the worst costume I've ever heard of. Although, no, there was one worse. My brother went as garlic. And for 3 days, all he ate was garlic. That was his costume, to smell like shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Worst costume.
I obviously know which brother that is. That's the brother I do like.
How could you say that? I love all of my siblings equally.
Yeah, but I said me.
Anyway. Continue. So he shows up at her house and he tells her he's sorry and that the guy deserves another chance because he didn't really mean that he wanted to break up with her and that, you know, he thinks that they would be good together or whatever.
At first, though, when he's like, I need to apologize. And I'm like, I thought he was going to try to fuck her.
Yeah, as soon as he was like, is he going to sleep with her? Like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you?
But, like, it would have been the ultimate douchebag move.
Wow.
Because this guy couldn't sleep with her, and he's just like, because it would have proved everything too. He would have been like, "See, that's all you need to do."
She was ready, just not for you.
He would have fulfilled his transformation into complete douchebag.
Sure, but instead he redeems himself.
Yeah, and they show up at the After Dark as black and blue.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then at the After Dark,
yes.
They're doing that after-hours strip club brothel.
After hours.
And at the beginning of the episode, this dude shows up and he's complaining because he's like, I know what time you're supposed to close, 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're open till 4, and that's not allowed. I live
across the alley? Like, what the... We've seen so many establishing shots of this fucking Peach Pit. Who is living... Like, it's on a busy commercial street. Where are you living, sir? Are you in the dumpster? What the fuck? This makes no sense.
Yeah.
We have never seen any houses around the Peach Pit ever in the fucking 10 years this show has been on the air.
And truly, if you lived next to a nightclub and they were open till 2 a.m., would it make that much of a difference if they were open till 4? You're already up. You're up in the middle of the night. You are a middle of the night person.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
Or sell your house.
But yeah, so then Gina flirts with him and she's like, oh, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. And then she calls him an idiot when he walks out the door, which is like, I didn't like that. Whatever.
But anyway, so they have their little brothel thing and it gets raided by the police.
Mm-hmm. And Donna gets arrested for prostitution just by being there.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, I guess they would probably just arrest every woman in the place, but like... I don't know. Because how do you know which ones are doing it?
I've never been in a situation where there have been prostitution going on and we got raided. So.
Right.
So I have no clue what they would do in that situation. It seems weird, though, because ostensibly they should not know that there's prostitution going on, or they should at least have plausible deniability. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is just a dance. Like, now they should get in trouble because, as the guy says, they're not licensed. They're open after hours. You know, like there's lots of reasons why they should get in trouble, but they shouldn't necessarily know about the prostitution, I guess. What's funny though is, considering the prostitution, somebody's there.
Yeah. David's dad, Mel Silver.
World famous orthodontist Mel Silver is there.
And when the police show up, for some reason, and maybe she is so diabolical that she was planning this the second she saw him.
Maybe.
She runs over to him and she's like, hey, the police are here. Let me get you out of here, and sneaks him out the back.
Yeah, so they get away.
Like, how does she even know him? I mean,
that is true.
I don't think they have met.
She does point him out, though. She's like, or somebody points him out.
Yeah.
Maybe what's his name points him out? Noah.
But yeah, so she sneaks him out.
Hey, it smells silver. He is world famous orthodontist smell silver, though, so maybe she just knows him from that. Doesn't she? No, she went to him as a dentist.
Yeah, he did her work.
And he was like, you're fucking doing bulimia. Stop it.
You're bulimic. Okay, yeah, you're right. They know each other. So she saves him from the police. Donna and Noah get arrested. Mm-hmm. And Noah walks away from this whole thing after they get bailed out with $4,000. And Dylan, who owns the building, walks away with $120,000 worth of fines or something?
No, just $20,000.
Just $20,000 still.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're going to pay me back.
I'm going to take it out of your ass, Noah. I'll put you on the streets.
So, like, he should have just handed him, the envelope of money, but he didn't.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, truly, he should have been like, here's my first payment on the $20,000.
Well, Gina, so they made $4,000 total that night, apparently, before they got raided. And Gina was like, you can have the whole thing, but don't tell them that I was involved or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Dylan knows anyway. Dylan's like, Gina, fucking, you stole my key. You were there. I know. And you lied to me. Don't lie to me anymore. And she's like, no more lies. But more lies, I'm sure.
They have such a fucked up relationship. So then she calls David's dad and does a shakedown.
Yeah. She's like, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how much it's going to fucking cost you for me not to say. Now, not that he necessarily should have been there. But as far as on screen goes, the most he was guilty of is having a drink at a bar where women are dancing. Like a strip club.
Yeah, he wasn't like with a prostitute.
Like that, like if I were in that situation, I would just be like, oh, I'll just tell my wife I was at a strip club.
Yeah.
Because that's all that happened. Now, maybe he was looking to fuck a prostitute. I don't know.
But neither does Gina.
Yeah. So he could have easily just been there. Because I assume that not all the guys that are there are having sex with these prostitutes. No. Like, they're not fucking... This isn't a whorehouse,
yeah,
right?
This is not the Bunny Ranch.
Like, I feel like they're just... That's something that happens sometimes when when the people negotiate, but ostensibly they're dancers. It's like a strip club.
Yeah.
They're just dancing around and stuff. So, yeah, I don't understand. Well, he doesn't respond to it, honestly.
No, that's where they leave off, like, oh, it's supposed to be suspenseful.
Right. So
whatever.
We'll see. But yeah, that's the episode.
No.
That's not?
No, because Donna breaks up with Noah.
Yeah, she does. You're right.
Because he bought her jewelry at the beginning of the episode, and she's like, was this bought with the money from this, awful club thing? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, I'm done with you, and gives him back the jewelry. So.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so they broke up.
Because it was so fast, and it happened so frequently that they break up.
It was at the end of the episode.
Are they going to get back together? Who knows?
I want her and David to get together. That's what I want. And I honestly would like Dylan and Kelly to get together. And I would like, yeah.
Out of nowhere?
No, not out of nowhere. I've been shipping them.
You've been what?
I've been behind their relationship.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Did you just invent a term?
Apparently.
Holy shit.
But I mean, like, I don't like him and Gina together because he's so mean to her, but he's so nice to Kelly. Like, he'd be better. He's a better person if he's with Kelly.
I guess so, yeah.
And I think Kelly's a better person when she's with him. So I would like to see them get back together.
Their negativity cancels each other out.
Yeah.
Plus, they were fucking meant to be together all through time or whatever the fuck happens.
Exactly.
With the psychics.
And then I don't know what I want to have happen to Gina. She can get run over. I don't care.
Wow.
I'm mad at
She
Gina.
can get a house dropped on her Wicked Witch of the West style.
Exactly.
Is that the West or the East?
I don't
West,
know.
right? West gets killed. East is good.
Sure.
East gets killed later.
Whatever.
Water. I meant it. You remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can find their own stripper.
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Mm-hmm. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.